Here we are back again at the next video, the fourth one on your personal program. It's been a while. I've been overseas running workshops and involved in other projects, so I haven't really had the time to focus on this and I've been missing it. So I'm back on to these videos again, and this is the fifth in the series, Your Personal Program. I have to go over and over the content to ensure accuracy and validity, and it's a huge task, and there'll still be mistakes. The next stop is the brain. It's useful to know something about our complex brain. After all, we're using it all the time. The internet has lots more information about it, and definitely it's worth looking through. Our brain is capable of holding so much information. Computational neuroscientists estimate human storage capacity somewhere between 10 terabytes and 100 terabytes. Though the full spectrum of guesses ranges from 1 terabyte to 2.5 petabytes. Let me help this sink in. 1 terabyte is 1 million bytes. You can represent 256 things with a byte, 8 bits. A byte can represent a number or a letter or other things. Some people believe we have a capacity of 2.5 petabytes. That's 2.5 plus 15 zeros in bytes. Can you imagine it? The brain processes 400 billion bits of information a second, but we are only aware of 2,000 of those, according to Dr. Joseph Dispenza. The average clock speed of neurons in the brain is a mere 200 firings per second. And that's just a minuscule of what you can find out about the brain. But how accurate is this data? Nobody's 100% sure. They're all best guess. The information on the internet also informs us of the various brain functions and the areas they control. These descriptions appear to be a basic understanding held by most people. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. It's responsible for functions such as memory, and I haven't got a particularly good one, reasoning, judgment, thought, and actions. The cerebellum coordinates muscle movements, maintains posture and balance. The brain stem controls messages between the brain and the body. It manages heart rate and blood pressure, breathing and swallowing. We're told that amygdala is part of the cerebrum and is responsible for the fight or flight response, though it apparently can't distinguish between a real threat or a perceived one. I think this is a critical fact to understand because it's probably the reason some things seem impossible for us to change. I suspect certain things are impossible to change, but we don't know this, and it definitely shouldn't stop us working on it. And it still doesn't mean we can't learn to modify our personal program. If there's one thing we can learn from this information, it's this. If we think we're in control, the joke is definitely on us. Saying that, we can still observe our actions, and we have the ability to make changes to our personal program. So what does your personal program do? It controls everything you do. It manages all your actions based on all the information you have stored in your brain memory since you were born. And now you act like a robot. I'm not being rude here, and I will explain why I say you are a robot is in more detail on a video coming later, but it's important to grasp this point because it helps understand why I call it your personal program. A robot follows a set of instructions, and when you want it to do something different, then you just change the instructions. Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but that'll come up on the video. You are a robot because although more complicated, you also follow a set of instructions. Funnily enough, you created those instructions. Now, ask anyone you know, and many will tell you how you behave or how they experience you. Well, your good friends might. And you'll find out there is plenty of consistency in their responses. This is why disclosure and feedback are so important if you want to know yourself. If you want to know more about disclosure and feedback, look up the Johari window on Google. That's Johari window, Johari window. If you want to change anything, feedback is invaluable. It is the fastest way to discover yourself, and yet so often we reject it. Your memory stores every experience you have had. Your brain has the role of keeping you alive, and it uses this information to control your actions. You can imagine how complicated your personal program is with all this information, because it's a huge amount of information. Your program filters everything and causes you to choose actions that keep you safe. It still does this even if you are a risk taker. It doesn't matter what you do because it knows who you are and what you do. Basically, it controls all your actions, which are dictated by your mind memory. If you want to change any of your automatic responses, you must bring elements of your subconscious program to your conscious mind. It has been said that the brain's primary goal is to move us around in order to survive. The personal program is a set of instructions created by us throughout our lives to keep us safe. Now that's enough because I understand the personal program and information that apparently we can only handle so much. We can only take in so much at any one time. So I'm deliberately trying to keep these as short as possible and only give so much information. Because if we understand our personal program and what it means, then we can use what we know to change the habits and beliefs that we want to change. And we can only do that by exploring ourselves, which is in fact exploring our personal program. So see you on the next video.